And we're live. Hello, everyone. How are you doing? Give me a second to get everything sorted out and for Rags to gross everyone out. Thank you for joining me, Rags. Oh, thank you. Yeah, well, it was a slow pickings today, but I found I saw this the other day. I just because I'm subscribed to all of these regressive nonsense channels, and this one came up, and I just looked at it and thought, wow, that does sound like that's a video about a race war. And I watched it, and I was not disappointed. AJ Plus actually have videos about race wars, and this is one of them. And that's honestly something they do now. So yeah, exactly. Well, the way that Francesca Fioriti, I think her name is here, the way that she is also named Francesca. Um, she's actually she's chosen her side, obviously, and she's framed it so it's all of the rest of the world versus Europe and the European colonies. Yeah, that's the dichotomy. So I mean, I let's just start and let her explain to us exactly why why we're all a bunch of fucking racists for not having open borders. Oh, hang on, sorry, I'm not sure everyone can hear you.
All
There
right,
we go.
I
There we
will.
go.
Okay, good.
Yes, sorry, boomer audio. Let me just check this.
Wouldn't want my insightful commentary on the upcoming race war to go unheard. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
but
do my best to offer all the helpful tips and tricks that I know.
just to be clear to the gods of YouTube who might watch this, we're not in favor of race wars, which is what makes what she's saying objectionable. Let's just watch.
Yes, we're not pro race war. We're anti war generally.
Yeah.
We're especially anti race war. The wars that are closer and closer to my front door are progressively worse and worse.
Yeah. That's I do judge wars primarily on a sort of locality base.
Yeah, it is a proximity issue for me.
Yeah.
Wars in China.
Right. Let's let her fucking lay this out.
The real goal behind
Oh yeah, warning chat, she's really annoying as well.
Trump's anti-immigration policies, besides
Lower
Stephen Miller
immigration.
getting back at the Mexican kids who called him pinche gringo in high school, and when he asked them what it meant, they said beach body, and so he kept calling himself that for years. I'm Francesca Fiorentini, and in this
What?
episode
Was
of
that a
News
joke?
Yeah, it was.
Oh, that's funny.
Remember to laugh, chat. Is the movie Cromwell accurate or even worth watching? I actually haven't seen it, so
Press F for comedy.
how this administration is systematically trying to unbrown America.
That's right. It's
Systematically trying
unbrowning.
to unbrown America.
It is ethnic cleansing, if you will.
What, you'd expect them to do it like randomly?
But like that's how she's framing this. It's the unbrowning
Unbrown
of America. And it
Like they happen to be brown,
But she-
mostly.
I mean, does she think that like, Eastern Europeans who were to sneak in wouldn't get deported as well? Like
Whenever you pause it too, I get the more videos thing, and the thumbnails are so. Oh man, they're Sargon. There is gold in them there hills. Okay.
I don't know if anyone can see the thumbnail to this on the stream. This is her shocked face, which you can't really see, but next to it is the US with barbed wire around a no brown people symbol.
It's like a no
Fucking
stealing allowed sign.
amazing. It's just no browns, and we have barbed wire to keep you out. That's
Specifically their hands.
well, that's just a representative part. But the point is, right? What she is saying to brown people around the world is, don't go to the United States because you're fucked, right? Just flee the United States while the borders are still open. That's what that thumbnail is projecting out.
Flee for your lives.
Basically, yes.
And that doesn't just mean mass deportation. It means ensuring
That's a
brown
white
people
guy
are
they're
forever
arresting. It's
excluded.
weird. It's kind of weird. I don't know why you would have shown that. You'd think with all your Qatari money, you could have done some better editing. But I don't know.
Like, but more importantly as well, can I just, I can't. Wow, yeah, that is a white guy that they deported. Good
He's
point.
totally white. Clearly they've made a mistake.
But I no. You know, like the browning of America. What? Oh, I don't know where it went. Never mind.
I'm Francesca Fiorentini, and in this episode of Newsbroke, we're looking at how this administration is systematically trying to unbrown America. And that doesn't just mean mass deportation. It means ensuring brown people are forever excluded from democracy.
Forever excluded from democracy.
What?
God damn. Man, that's crazy.
Imagine saying that if brown people can't come to the United States, they can't have democracy.
I mean, not only do we not want them here, we don't want them to vote while we're here. Jeez.
But like, can't they have democracy in their home countries, Francesca? Like, this sounds remarkably like what I think it was JF was arguing, that brown people just can't have democracies. Like, she seems to have the same opinion.
Did these people forget that we had like a black president for 8 years?
Well, there are non-white countries that are also democracies, so they can still like have democracy. They don't. The idea of them having democracy is not contingent of them being in the United States, which seems to be her fucking point. And it's like it's a really white supremacist point that she's just made, as far as I can tell. On my reading of it, anyway. I might be wrong, but
It's weird that people are in this bull rush to get to a country that hates them.
Question: where do white people go? Where is it acceptable to go to have their own cultures? Where are the white people supposed to go? You're supposed to stay there. Obviously, you're not meant to leave and go to brown people's countries because that would be colonialism. So shut your fucking mouth.
This is not a two-way street, silly person.
Yeah. What the hell are you expecting?
What do they teach you in those non-Qatari schools?
Yeah. Yeah. Also, yeah. Just for anyone who's not aware, Qatar is of Al Jazeera, which is Qatari funded, which means that this is a foreign government paying an American to spout anti-American propaganda with the intention of opening the borders of the country so it eventually becomes majority foreign by demographics.
I'm curious if Francesca Filipino or whatever it would be allowed to wear what she's wearing right now in public in Qatar.
Well, they're very progressive in Qatar, and they actually are opposed to the male gaze to the point where they put women in bin bags. So,
that'll stop them.
It's very progressive.
Medieval problems require medieval solutions.
but the thing is, like, if this was done in time of war, you could easily say that this was treason. Like, this is trying to change, like, doing something for a foreign country like this strikes me as very odd, in fact. But anyway,
What side are you on?
yeah, exactly. Whose side am I on, right?
The cat's out of the white hood, people. This administration and the Republicans who
The cat,
support it are
Jesus
trying
Christ.
to stop immigrants of color from becoming citizens.
No.
No, but that's technically true. That's technically true.
Well, I'm glad she didn't use the very, very offensive colored immigrants term. That would not stand.
Yeah, but like the thing is, like, it is technically true that brown people are coming up from the south, crossing the border illegally, being arrested and then deported, right? That's totally normal. You would expect that to happen. That's a true thing. That does prevent brown people from becoming citizens. It's only because they broke the law, but like that. What she said there is technically true, and the method by which they become citizens is fucking irrelevant. So she's happy to let literally every criminal on earth become a citizen of your country, man.
You know, if geographically Canada and Mexico were swapped, I'm so curious what this video would be about. If it was all the whites trying to get in.
Well, I imagine she was one of those ones that was like, oh, I'm going to flee to Canada if it was, if Trump, you know,
I'm going to flee
president.
to Qatar.
Yeah, exactly. She didn't say she's going to flee to Qatar, did she? You know, you can get on a plane and go anywhere, you know, Francesca.
People never want to flee to Mexico. It's really weird. They must be racist.
Yeah. So, as a Mexican American, I've warned all my relatives to the south of the border to stay away from this racist, fascist country. Exactly.
Yes.
Tim Pool as an angry progressive changed my mind. No, he is an angry progressive. That's the thing.
Kind of, yeah.
Well, like, he's like a liberal. He is still a liberal.
Progressive.
Yeah. But
he's diet progressive.
Oil's good, mate. I always loved David Starkey, but I saw some other videos with him, and he's an absolute mad lad. Watch the video where he destroys Ash Sarkar. Yeah, it's. I might do just a David Starkey destroying millennial thoughts compilation at some point, because there are loads of them where he just gives them the back of the hand. It's the full force of the patriarchy right there. It's.
And they've been working on so many levels, you really have to step back to appreciate it all. Trump's
This is
Yes,
a
you do.
great
And isn't it
advert for
beautiful?
Trump.
Isn't it beautiful?
Yeah. This is what Trump should put out. Trump administration has been really firm on illegal immigration. Listen to an annoying fifth columnist progressive who's going to tell you exactly how.
Trump is so
policy is like-
selectively competent.
Yes, it's very interesting, isn't it?
like Monet's water lilies, except they're just turds floating in an undrained
Monet was a
swamp.
white man. I'll
Listen,
have you
I
know.
get wanting to look
Probably.
away from the issue of immigration. It's painful to witness, like a train wreck or your parents having sex on a train that's wrecking, but like your parents are into it.
You're not funny.
So to recap, where
This
we
is
are in
hilarious.
this ring of hell, ICE arrests have gone up by 33% since 2016.
You know what I call that?
And
A
ICE
good
arrested
start.
an average of over 42,000 people each
Bravo.
day in 2018.
Yeah, all
the highest
right.
average since
Yeah,
2001.
boy.
Under the travel ban against Muslim-majority countries, the State Department has rejected more than 37,000 visa applications.
Yeah,
visa
fuck
denials
off.
have also skyrocketed, specifically among Mexicans, Caribbeans, and South Asians. Trump is now trying to hold
How?
children
What
in
is she?
detention
Is she?
indefinitely.
It's weird. It's almost like she's assuming that terrible countries are majority brown, which is kind of offensive, to be honest. It's a little offensive.
She agrees with Trump that they're shithole countries. That's the thing. This is
Yeah.
predicated on the idea that they're shithole countries that can't run democracies, by the way.
That's flowery language, but yeah.
But true. But the thing is, this is amazing. This is so fucking funny. It's just like all this great stuff. I'm like, Christ, she's threatening me with a good time here. What are we going to do? Like,
Trump administration announces plan that would let it detain children indefinitely. Fuck, it's like the evil village. It's like the evil village from the end of Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, where they just arrest all the children and throw them in a cave.
their parents had nothing to do with them coming and
I'm-
crossing the border, man.
I'm sure that there's no asterisks and stipulations or anything in this plan. It's just, we just want to keep children in dungeons forever. We just hate children, especially the brown ones.
James Everhart, whiteys get no righties. No.
Look, if the small immigrant child isn't building my iPhone, then they need to be in a cell, quite frankly.
Destiny approved that.
Destiny.
If I can't press them over here, I'll press them over here. David Starkey is the fresh
It's a
prince of the
proximity
patriarchy.
issue.
Yeah, exactly.
If they're being oppressed in China in a sweatshop with suicide nets on the windows, it's not my problem. Where else am I supposed to play Flappy Bird?
Destiny doesn't understand that people aren't Twitch streamers. David Starkey is the fresh prince of the patriarchy. White people start building strong families and having lots of babies. If you care about your heritage, you'll make this priority. I disavow, man. White people having families is the way that white supremacy perpetuates itself. I know because I've read towards a political philosophy of race and Judith Butler and all of these types of people. I'm well aware of your games, you fucking Nazis.
Definitely, and is issuing deportation orders for immigrants undergoing life-saving treatment for genetic diseases. That is
Where
a
would they get
lot
genetic
of
diseases
sadness
from?
at once.
See, that's the question, isn't it? A genetic disease is racist.
Let's just put band-aids on the world. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Just if you're sick, we'll take care of you. No strings attached, and we'll pay for it. And this is a tenable solution that is very viable. The US and the UK will combine forces. Our doctors will create a coalition to heal the world.
You know, I just can't understand why we can't, like, accept that they want independence from us. Like, okay, you can have independence from us, you know, but
But you can't come back.
exactly, that's a two-way street. Again, the one, you know, isn't it? But anyway, sorry, there was a super chat I missed. Next on AJ Plus, Julius Caesar tried to ruin a perfectly serviceable and multicultural Roman Republic with a more workable model, the racist. Thank insert SJW deity that Caesar got to the Gracchi treatment. Honestly, it's probably not a good thing in the long run. Rambo is already getting heat by progressive mafia, and I'm wondering if you're willing to give it a shot by seeing it. Is in British cinemas. Well, I wasn't really a fan of the original Rambo.
I know I'm gonna see it. My dad wants to see it, so I'll be going to see it as well. It'll probably just be it'll probably be a dumb action movie. It'll probably be fine. It'll probably be fine.
Yeah, that's all
like
I'm expecting. But I'm not going to watch it probably.
So here is an obese cat playing with a baguette.
Okay.
Ooh, look at the hind legs. Ooh. But some countries haven't seen much.
Okay.
So, isn't that bad though that cat's obese?
This has like the Last Jedi levels of inconsistent tone. You know,
well,
it's like Trump wants to put children in cages indefinitely, but also, look at this cat and bread.
Well, it's the kind of absurdist millennial humor where it's like, oh God, everything's so terrible. Oh, here's something really silly. But the really silly thing is always really fucking selfish.
I saw Monty Python when I was 6 years old. I can recreate that perfectly in my internet video.
Basically, yes. But the thing is, it's so childish, isn't it? It's like you are genuinely talking about some really serious issues, and then you go to cat playing with baguette because millennial inability to fucking commit.
It's not a joke. It's like meme humor, but it's not a funny meme.
Yeah.
You know?
She'll keep playing on this later on.
It's a cute cat. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Change at all. For comparison, only 3 Canadians were denied visas in
This is why you guys wanted to leave the European Union, to keep baguettes off your cats, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But look at this, right? This is really fascinating, right? There is a difference between Canada and the rest of the world. I was having this argument on Facebook with like an IRL person I know about this because they're just sat there like, oh, immigration is just good. And it's like, well, no, And then I gave them this, a link to a study that suggested that it actually cost us something like, I don't know, 9 billion a year or something, however much. And he was like, but out of that, if you look at the European Economic Area immigrants, they are actually producing money for the economy. It's like, yes, I'm sure that degree holders from France are doing exactly that, but that's not the majority of our immigration. We can be picky about it. If you just want to have degree holders from France, okay, but why did we have to take like the workers from, wherever else? We've got our own workers. Do
they think that if you took 100 applicants from Haiti and 100 applicants from Canada, that they would be on equal grounds for social cohesion?
If they don't, you're a racist.
Job productive. I mean, man, it's.
But the only reason that you wouldn't is naturally going to be racism, isn't it? That's the first one that suggests itself because you deliberately chose a black and white country.
Diseases that you have and the culture that you have, and you can't speak the language and. Nothing to do with that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's only because they were trafficking insulin.
Yeah, that's the only reason. I'm sure. This is called a bold-faced claim.
Well, let's assume that's true. I'm sure that most Canadians who try to get visas into the US get them.
Look, it's Canada.
Exactly. It's virtually identical. Same continent, same language, from the same original country. Oh my God, Canadians can get into America really easily. I bet Americans can get into Canada pretty easily too. It's not very hard for the English to get into Ireland either. It's really remarkable. Yeah, it's shocking.
Walk over.
Sorry to bother you, but I heard about your glucose problem. Also, the
Glucose.
administration wants to eliminate family-based visa programs except for spouses or minors, stop all refugees from entering the U.S., and is even thinking of changing the Constitution's 14th.
Okay, so wants to eliminate family-based visas.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen? Well, okay, yeah. If you want less immigration, one of the ways to do it is to say you can't just get your family on the fast track here.
Yeah. Why should your cousins come over? Why should your grandparents come over?
What the fuck they do?
Why?
And we have stop all refugees, which I'm sure has nothing to do with the fact that you guys are telling everybody that they're refugees, even if they're not.
Yep.
Then we have end birthright citizenship. I guess for the people who were born here from illegals.
the US is the only country that fucking has that.
Where if you're born here Oh, where like illegal immigrants, they have a kid and the
Yeah.
kid gets USA. Yeah, that's dumb.
You're
No.
like the only country that has that.
Yeah, that's dumb.
Like
The
nowhere else
amendment
has this.
And it was
we
Donald
don't do
Trump.
that.
And Donald Trump apparently had no issues like getting a program together so that Dreamers or whatever could get their citizenship.
Didn't AOC and the squad vote against that?
I want to say that's what I heard. I'd have to double check though, but it sounds so absurd that it would kind of match. Yeah,
So
maybe.
I just want to read a couple of super chats because one of them is quite good. Star Wars 2, and they say from one side of their mouth, great replacement is a conspiracy theory, while the other side celebrate how they're replacing whites. Well, that's literally what she's doing in this video. You know, like I'm not an adherent of the great replacement theory or anything like that, but there are people like that, and it seems that she's actually one of them. She's genuinely joyous at the idea of making America a minority white country, which is a baffling thing to want.
We've heard politicians and stuff cheer. I think it was Joe Biden or something go and say, yeah, they're at such and such date, America will be majority non-white, and there's massive cheers. Like, that's a good thing. Like, yeah, fuck white people.
Yeah, it's like, what a fucking weird... Like, you literally are waging a war at that point, aren't you? You know? But someone said that... someone in the chat said Germany has birthright citizenship as well. Well, there we go. There we go. That's exactly what you need to know. Yeah, exactly. Now you know it's a bad idea. If you needed
any confirmation it was a bad idea.
Does Germany do it? Yes, they do. Australia moderates immigration by charging $8,000 to apply to bring family and spouse in. Merit requires sponsor and money, so spousal visas are abused. SJW's ideology end state is concluding that our cultures and governments are perfectly flawed, but if they can change things from the inside, they will be content. But if they lose the influence, they will call for a revolution. Well, yeah, but they're calling for a revolution against how the institutions work anyway. So, but this one I found interesting. Sargon, redistribute your verified tag to your sexy unverified co-host. You must end influencer inequality now. Now, this is a really interesting point because Yoey Sprague, I think is pronounced, the guy who's doing the YouTube. I'm in following that group on Facebook and whatnot. And he posted today that he's got 2.5 million subscribers, something like that. So it's a big channel, lots of influence. And he's actually just partnered with a German trade union. And he today lost his verification on YouTube because they decided to redefine how people have it.
I actually released a video on Dog Bites talking about it. But I got the email too. My verification perhaps will go away. Internet historian, 1.7 million. He is going to lose verification potentially. So is 8-Bit Ryan. That's 2.2 million.
But what does verification even mean then?
Yeah, exactly. Well, the whole point of verification, it's kind of like a twofold thing. One is the actual verification aspect of it. Are you who you say you are? And two is that's like a milestone for channels to show they've risen above the rank and file, you know? And if you have less channels that are verified, but your purpose is to make it easier for people to find verified channels. Like, what bizarro universe is YouTube living in? How come every time they open their mouths, they're just like, here's how we're going to fuck up YouTube even more?
Why? I mean, Styx apparently lost his too.
Yeah, it looks like I'm still verified.
Someone in the chat's now saying Germany doesn't have birthright citizenship. Okay, I'm not going to look it up. I don't care. But
they would.
America
would.
America has it. It is a bad idea. But yeah. So yeah, YouTube just keep fucking everything up. And when I heard that Justin Trudeau got blacked in 2001, I had something different in mind. Well, you know, it's only a matter of time until that comes out.
So progressive.
Oh yeah. So go on. Let you down.
Birthright citizenship.
We're looking at that very seriously. Birthright citizenship, where you have a baby on our land, you walk over the border, have a baby. Congratulations, the baby is now a U.S. citizen.
Mr. Trump, that's your son. We know that privately.
Do you think that his son went through the proper verification progress? Do you think that, do you think there's any difference between what Donald Trump and his family have gone through and just somebody walking across the desert and having a baby here? Do you think there's any difference between those two things?
But even
or in your mind?
Trump's
Nothing.
sons are born in America, so they are actually born with American citizenship because Trump is an American citizen. So it
Because
would look.
his wife's an immigrant and she got citizenship. So maybe this idiot is like trying to conflate the two.
I guess.
I have no idea. That's the thing.
I think she assumes. Sorry, go on.
You don't know what they mean because they're so ambiguous. But hey, anything to dress up in scrubs, right?
I mean, does she think that it's matrilineal? So if if the mother isn't a citizen, then the children aren't. But even then, Melania probably is a citizen by this point. So.
Oh yeah.
What's
I
the
think
problem?
Trump is the first president to have a wife who's not a naturalized or a natural U.S. born, citizen because he hates immigrants.
Yeah,
I know.
Trump has said he doesn't want people from so-called hole countries, which we know means those with
Like the ones you
Africans and
listed?
Latinos, because he
Well,
then
hang
turned
on,
around and
whoa,
said
whoa,
he
whoa,
wanted
whoa,
more
whoa, whoa,
immigrants
whoa.
from Norway.
Why would you instantly think that African countries and Latino countries are shitholes? That's really offensive.
yeah. I've been to the north. No, I'm joking. But no, seriously, that is exactly how she views the world. You can't complain that Trump's like these places are shithole countries, and you'd be like, I know exactly what you're talking about.
It's
know
it's
what
weird,
he's
dude.
talking about.
You just ask these people, are there bad countries? And if they say no, then that's its own different can of worms. And if they say yes, then you're like, all right, where are they? And that's where you think they are. Oh no, what a racist. Oh no.
Trump has said he doesn't want people from so-called hole countries, which we know means those with Africans and Latinos.
See, that's what she knows. We know this.
Like it's not because they have Africans and Latinos in them. It's just that these shithole countries happen to be in places that are located on the continents of South America and Africa.
Yeah, it's like
it isn't because they're African and Latinos.
If you had millions of Belarusians or something coming in, it'd probably be similar problems. Corruption, things like this, because they're poor places, not because they're brown.
Because he then turned around and said he wanted more immigrants from Norway, which he might.
Yeah. Norway seems like a really awesome, or at least an intelligent place that could, they could fit in really well.
But it's not just that, right? The progressives are constantly appealing to Norway or Sweden or Denmark. Oh, we can just have a Scandinavian style healthcare system. But if Trump's like, yeah, I'd like people from Scandinavia because they seem really good, you're like, well, that's racist.
Well, we don't want them over here.
Norway does things in a particular way.
We don't want those whites
Francesca.
over
You
here.
knew, you know. All immigrants are not equal. What the fuck do you want?
Want to reconsider because 71% of Norwegians believe Donald Trump constitutes a real threat to world peace. Trump's affinity for Norway is as one-sided as all of his relationships, romantic or otherwise.
Okay.
What's this clip? I don't even...
Melania not holding his hand or something?
Well, if she held his hand, that would be him oppressing her through the patriarchy.
Well, yeah.
So you can't win.
Well, obviously.
Hold hands, don't hold hands. You lose either way.
Yeah. But the opinion of the Norwegians on Trump is actually immaterial as to whether they would make good immigrants into a country. And if it's a Western liberal democracy, then yeah, they're probably going to. They're probably going to be a high quality of immigrant. They're actually going to be they're going to be a net contribution to the exchequer, is what we're saying. People.
It's not often I ask myself. Not often I ask myself, what would the Norwegians say?
Well, I mean, I'm sure there are people who ask that question, but the point is they're not, they're not going to be barbarian savages at this point.
All of these things amount to the great American unbrowning, the strongest part of Trump's presidential legacy next to cold filet-o-fish. But no matter what he says, it's what he and the GOP are.
And if he served the most expensive meal ever, they'd be making videos about how he's a bougie, super rich, classist prick who doesn't understand the plight of the working class.
Yeah.
You could do either way. You lose.
Yeah. And I honestly think that bit where he had the burgers was fucking genius. I think that was a real stroke of genius.
Yeah.
Are doing that's ultimately important. So we might say that this is all just about attracting qualified immigrants and what they call merit-based immigration.
Oh,
Time
no.
to begin moving toward a merit-based immigration system, one that admits people who are skilled, who want to work.
Okay, those who have skills and contribute and...
About 680 migrants were rounded up at 7 food processing plants in 6 cities in Mississippi.
are fucking...
I wonder what they were doing. I'm sure they were doing extremely high skill labor.
Nuclear physics, man.
I'm certain they were splitting atoms over there at Tyson. Okay, I'm sure that's what
I'm not
doing.
saying that that's not an important job. It is an important job, and I respect it when people do it. But it is not what we consider to be categorically a high-skilled job. And I know because I've done that job myself before. There was a Del Monte factory in Wootton Bassett, and I've worked there packing bananas when I was like, I don't know, 20 or something. And it was shit. It was boring, but it certainly wasn't a high-skilled job. Fucking... Oh, Francesca is so genius.
You start off as a banana peeler, then you work up to a banana cutter, and then if you're there for years and years, you can become the bananager.
You need to stop with these dad jokes, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah, boy.
That raid, targeting mostly Latino workers, was also on the first day of school in Mississippi.
Oh no, the first day of school. Good, their kids won't get in the way because they're in school.
Well, you can tell that it's a high-skilled job because they wear hairnets.
There's a lot of high-skilled jobs where you have to wear hairnets. I can't think of any right now, but they're absolutely out there.
To be fair,
Also,
in a lab, you probably do have to make sure your hair
probably
doesn't get into
like doctors and stuff.
So
they were
fuck,
operating on those
we
chickens.
just
They were
BTFO'd
trying to save.
ourselves.
They were trying to save chicken lives.
But we just BTFO'd ourselves. God damn it! But either way, this is not a high-skilled job, Francesca.
Incredibly wrenching moment.
Governments, please put your heart. Let my parents be free with everybody else, please.
I'm glad I can
Yes,
understand
in Mexico, in fucking Mexico, or wherever. Like, crying child,
let's just
abandon the borders.
let's
fuck
just
the laws.
let's just let crying children dictate what the law is. That seems like a good basis on which we can build a legal system.
Yeah, Charles Manson's son comes out or daughter comes out. Please, Judge, I miss my daddy. Oh, I can't refuse a crying child.
Who could say no to a face like that? Innocent of all charges. In fact, reparations.
In fact, annex Mexico.
That's true. If we make Mexico part of the U.S., then they don't have to immigrate.
Yeah.
If we'll bring the U.S. to them.
Imperialism is bringing people together, Francesca.
He's not a criminal.
Definitionally, he is a criminal. Illegal immigrant.
You broke the law. You broke the law.
That's what. Yeah.
Let's see. Which workers have more merit? The people who make your Popeye's chicken sandwich possible, or whatever lackeys took that kid's dad away from her?
The lackeys who took that kid's dad away from her.
Yeah,
Next question.
Hate to say it, but it's probably a difficult job, Ice.
Yeah.
So,
It probably is really tough.
yeah. I mean,
how hard?
So go on.
It probably isn't that hard. I've had Popeyes. It's very yummy, but I don't imagine that it's like gourmet chef levels of training. Whereas if you're doing like law enforcement or ICE and stuff, there's probably quite a bit of skill in that.
I hate to say it, but I mean, they're low-skilled jobs. That's the reason that teenagers were supposed to be doing them. The underclass, the servant underclass, were meant to be teenagers. So then they work to get out of that, and then they realize, right, Christ, that's how the ladder of life is. But Francesca thinks that we can have.
Can you
brown
believe you
people
don't start at the top?
Yeah, and she'd like a brown underclass because for some reason that's better. I don't know why.
I better see MAGA chuds getting up at 5 in the morning to pull out chicken gizzards for $7 an hour.
Oh,
Bitch,
so
she thinks they don't.
What?
What? What do you think this guy does, Francesca?
This is a really strange point. So it's okay if they. It's so bizarre to me. Like you don't connect the dots. This argument wants to be everything with no consistent byway or anything.
But it's not that. It's like they will do that. And you wouldn't have to set a minimum wage if there wasn't so much excess labour on the market. Like, it wouldn't have to be for minimum wage. That's the thing. You might end up paying more for your cheeseburger or whatever, but you're prepared to do that, surely? Aren't you, Francesca? You know, you don't want to redistribute
They
wealth.
simultaneously say that you can't survive on minimum wage. And they also say that we need all of these immigrants to be on minimum wage. Like, so you want to condemn them to death.
Class. Condemn them to perpetual servitude as the brown, uneducated underclass that serve her coffee when she goes into Starbucks.
Wonder what their excuse will be when the robot revolution happens and we have chicken gizzard machines that just de-gizzard chickens.
Yeah. Which I'm surprised we don't already have, to be honest, now you say it, right?
Well, because it's cheaper to have illegal immigrants do it. You could pay them 2 cents an hour.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Good evening, Calamati. Good evening, Ballbag. Fuck off. Excellent stream with We've Got a Problem. Thank you. I really enjoyed it. He's a really good host. Yeah. AJ Plus wants America to be more brown so they can have more slaves for Qatar. Also, I need that family visa. How's my cousin's wife going to come? Exactly, right? Yeah, the lie is literally what it is. AJ Plus... saw an article today that says it's credit card debt that's killing millennials, not student loans. They want to keep their middle-class way of life. Precisely. That's exactly what it is. Like, I've got a student loan. You just pay it back at whatever small amount they ask. It's not. Yeah, it's the fact that they live like they're rich, which they're not. 30,000 Canadians per year are immigrating into the UK. Social unrest when we discover there's not enough hockey and far too much football. Bad idea. Yeah, I don't think the Canadian and the Brit can mix. I think it's like oil and water. So as a son from a working class family in the middle of the only sovereign city, I really do appreciate what you do and keep up the good work. What do you think about occupying the Parliament until 1st of November 2019? I don't have many thoughts about it, to be honest. I hope Owen Jones tries it. I want to see what happens. I want to see what the result is. Make sure you get down there with a camera. Our Lady Ilhan virtually proved to have married her brother. Wow, really? That's interesting.
Oh yeah, man.
I haven't been following it, so I didn't know that there was evidence out.
Yeah, basically to put him on the fast track for getting him in the country.
Dankula. At Applebee's, Sargon ordered his steak well done. That's true, and it takes a real man to eat a well done steak at Applebee's. Thank you.
You actually did order a steak well done.
Yes, I like my steak well done with fucking ketchup. All right.
Oh my goodness.
I will
disavow.
fight you. I will fight. Sargon has not checked the chat once. Lol. Fuck you, Blue. Shows what you know. She's Italian. Echo quotes. No, she's probably not. She's probably actually just Italian. She seems kind of dumb. Progressives like her have racial inferiority complexes growing up. Most of us grow out of it, like me, but the presenter is still grappling with that demon now. Yeah, it looks that way. Get Streamlabs already so we can cut YouTube. Candankula. See, I wasn't lying. Yeah, I know. I will fight people. And pineapple on pizza. Like, literally, I'm going to fight all of you. Get Streamlabs. I need to figure it out. I haven't figured it out. Trudeau blacked up so he could look like his kid's dad. Oof. Probably true, though. John Adams' wife was born in England and she was a British citizen, so Trump is the second president to have a wife not born in America. Oh, well, there we go. Don't know
does it count? Does that count with the revolution and stuff? Because I feel like that's almost fibbing.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose
I feel it's a little,
Yeah, I mean, it might technically, but practically, probably not much of a difference.
Point is, Trump's a racist.
Yeah. Don't know if you heard, but Justin Trudeau, Lord of Cuckoldry and Baron of Progressivism, has been found guilty of blackface. What a time to be alive. Oh, yeah, I've got a secret thing, a secret channel that I put a video on. Do you know if Scotland leaves, so do millions of red seats? I mean, I don't really want them to leave, but I don't know, silver linings maybe. Yeah, they're pretty much condemning the rest of the UK to a conservative future, aren't they? Which is not necessarily good, but I guess at the moment it's positive. Want to ask Arch about Trump wanting Norwegians? Well, Arch is probably He's not here, but he's probably very pro Norwegian and Trump. Have I seen the new Alex Jones Doom video? No, I have not. Someone's going to have to send that through to me. If we give France the UK and Sweden to Ireland, can Poland have Germany as Lebensraum? We'll call it reparations. It's only a matter of time until that happens, actually. No, I'm joking. But they might end up getting a lot of money from Germany. Those chicken places had lines 100 long of 80-plus black people applying for the jobs the next day after the raids. Americans don't want the jobs my rear. Yeah, no, what it is middle-class progressives don't want those jobs. And so they assume that just extends out to everyone, because as if there's no difference from some fucking working schlub in Appalachia to, like, her in LA. You know, she thinks that that's just exactly the same. It's like, really? You know, people have different standards. The IRA, Jesus Christ. Australian farming is run by working holiday visa German teens. Best use for Germans. Keeps them busy and tired with physical work. Disavow. What about black women who fly fighters and other aircraft off US aircraft carriers? I guess they don't count. They only count when it's a puff piece that's on the front of the thing going, look at diversity, isn't it great? They don't count when making the argument against people who aren't diverse. I get up at 5:15 and work till 11 to make laundry detergent. I support Trump, so up yours, AJ. Wow, you must be an immigrant. By her logic. If pro-life activists paraded crying children on their rallies and about how abortion being bad, immediately the kid in the argument would be dismissed. Yeah, they don't care about children at all. They don't care about crying children, but they do know that you care about crying children. Does my family visa cover my wife's bull? Good question. The sort of thing Justin Trudeau's going to have to find out. Thoughts on Jeff Holiday and Matt's Jumbo legit trying to justify the anti-fire attack on Andy No? No, I can't say I've been following their content of late.
No.
So I'm not familiar with what they've done. But anyway, right, let's carry on with Francesca.
Suddenly feels like a skill, huh? Wanting to switch to a merit-based immigration system is a thin veil.
Wow, that's kind of racist.
That also directly discriminates.
Well, you know, brown people. They have a problem with merit.
They just can't compete with the whites.
Francesca Fioriti, or whatever her name is, 2019. That's her opinion.
Oh man, I don't know why Al Jazeera would hire this racist to work for them. Oh.
Not just racist, race activist as well. She's fully on board with the race war. We'll just get to it in a second.
Against the working poor, because it's utter hypocrisy that immigrants are being punished instead of companies who hire undocumented people to be able to keep paying crap wages. That
I agree. Yeah, those companies should be punished.
Totally agree.
Is anyone saying they shouldn't be?
Yep. Who is on the other side of that argument? Oh, the globalists, the people who own the companies. Yeah, they probably are. They're probably like, don't punish us. But I agree with you, Francesca, as well. Let's do it.
And yet, the Republican Party is basically putting all of the remaining rotten eggs it has into the bigot basket, which pits white people against brown immigrants. Just
okay. Okay, then.
That puts black people in America in the basket of immigrants. Like
white people that well, I mean, there always was like white. I don't think white people have a problem with non-whites being around them, like working. That's kind of always been a thing we've had.
But I mean, like you've had black people in America since before the United States. So it's not like you know that's a core thing about the American colonies is there have been black people there, right, for almost as long as white people, right? That's not controversial to say. So you wouldn't class black people as immigrants in America? Like as a foreigner, I don't look at black people and think they are immigrants to America any more than I see like the white people as immigrants to America. Like these are native parts of the United States as far as I'm concerned, and I'm not from the United States, you know. But when I see people speaking Spanish and, you know, Mexicans coming into the United States, I look at that and go, well, they're foreign elements to the United States. These are, because they are, obviously, you know, so it's not, you know, like, I don't know why she would categorize it this way.
I guess she just thinks that there's an inherent I guess, separation between citizenry if they're different colored.
Yeah, that seems to be it. That's like the only real citizens are white people, which is a pretty white supremacist opinion, isn't it? Really, I mean,
Yeah, it's kind of weird. I've never thought of non-whites like that, but I can't wait to. At this point, I'm used to being told what I think, so who knows?
just to say hate speech. Africans are not native to USA. Well, yeah, like the founding fathers owned slaves, black slaves. So the people who created your nation, there were black people there when your nation was created. Like, well, you know, you can't separate that from the American experience. That's just your history.
Listen to Senator and guy who never helps you with your bag on an airplane, Tom Cotton, as he falsely pits immigrants against American workers.
We bring over
Yeah,
a
he's
million
from
immigrants.
Arkansas.
Say again?
Senator from Arkansas. We made the news, everyone. We did it. Arkansas made the news, even if it's in a fucking Al Jazeera video. We did it.
But I mean, there is a conflict of interest between the native working people in a country and people who immigrate to that country. That's true.
Into this country a year. That means it puts great downward pressure on people who work with their hands and work on their feet.
Completely true.
Okay.
Utterly uncontroversial.
Now, for some people, they may think that that's a symbol of America's virtue and generosity. I think it's a symbol that we're not committed to working class Americans.
True. She looks upset by this.
Oh.
Working class Americans?
Working class. Oh, you mean the whites? It should be the browns.
Not just the browns, in fact, but the brown foreigners, because the browns here, you know, they're not foreign enough.
They're corrupted.
They're yeah. Well, there are a lot of black people who uphold white supremacy. You know, didn't you know this?
Yeah, you don't have to be white to be a white supremacist.
Which is unironically the progressive position at this point.
Yeah, like a Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
Aren't
Obvious
committed
white
to working
supremacists.
class Americans, and the government denying people citizenship status, ensuring there's always a powerless workforce, actually helps them to do that.
Why would
Documented-
more immigrants? Why would more immigrants flooding the working class give them more power?
I have no idea.
And like, at least in the sense of bargaining power. Like, I guess if they were going to start a bloody revolution, numbers would help. But barring that, I can't imagine that the working class who are here, because there's nothing actually keeping you down. So you want less competition so that you can do better and better? Like, what do you think that the immigrants that are here want even more immigrants to compete against them with for the jobs that they have?
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. It's like it's not a united class because there are other differences that divide people, basically ethnic origin, things like this. And what she's arguing for is the economic weakening of the native working class. And that's black and white, you know. It's just Native American worker.
Yeah, we want citizens making more money, period.
Yeah. So reducing immigration increases the value of their labor, which is good for them, strangely enough.
That means it puts great downward pressure on people who work with their hands and work on their feet. Now, for some people, they may think that that's a symbol of America's virtue and generosity. I think it's a symbol that we're not committed to working class Americans.
What? If anything, corporations aren't committed to working class Americans.
No fucking shit.
So you should make it easier for them to get away with paying them pennies
Yeah.
to the workers? I don't. What?
But yeah, corporations are not committed to the working class. I agree, obviously. They're not helping them out. And part of the way they're not helping them out is through open fucking border policies. Like he just explained it. She didn't refute what he said. Oh yeah, there is downward pressure. Yeah. But the corporations are the problem. It's like, yeah, part of it.
If anything, the corporations just see an opening and they're taking it.
Oh yeah, they don't care. You know, it's like, oh, this is cheap
they're not
labor
like
for us.
they're not evil and they're not altruistic. They're just like, oh hey, this is something that we can use.
Oh,
so we're going for it.
There's definitely like ethical and moralistic corporations and people, CEOs that run them, and there are definitely corporations lobbying the government to have essentially
I'm sure
mass
some of
immigration scale. Yeah,
But,
like
Tyson
any
wasn't
international.
like Tyson wasn't hiring illegal immigrants out of the kindness of its heart.
No, exactly. It's and in some ways there are some that are predatory as well. So it's she's not wrong that corporations are part of the problem, but people
I think
suggesting that
they
unlimited
exist in the
immigration is also part of the problem.
I mean, it's where they're. I think a corporation is shaped by its surroundings. Essentially, that's why you get the Twitters and the Googles and the Facebooks and everything like that. And then you get the Tysons, and they're all kind of in their own little spheres and doing their own little things. And the stuff that they do will be directly related to the stuff that's happening around it.
Yep.
Like if it wasn't feasible for them to do it, they wouldn't do
Government
it.
denying people
Barring
citizenship.
ideology, which is its own separate issue. But that's fed from its own. Even then, that's they become that because of where they are and what they're surrounded by constantly.
And that's her. This is the ideology we're hearing from her. Everything that she's saying here is what Zizek's pure ideology. None of it has any correspondence to like the factual reality of what we're actually looking at.
This isn't a very
ensuring
pragmatic
there's
video.
always a powerless workforce actually helps them to do that. Undocumented people are like movie extras. They're underpaid and overworked. And while their work often goes unnoticed, they're critical to
Are they
every
overworked?
film. Getting mad.
So, okay, apart from being critical to every film, but isn't that a way of saying we should discourage people from becoming undocumented immigrants?
Also, if you paid extras as much as the stars, you wouldn't have a movie.
Well, you might just have small movies.
Yeah, you just have a movie where it's 3 people.
Yeah.
Can we go outside and shoot? Oh, no. Only at night at 2 a.m.
Mad at them for doing work nobody else wants to would be the equivalent of Jennifer Aniston going, "I feel threatened by coffee girl number 6.
Are you fucking serious? I wonder how many people were trying to become the coffee girl on like Friends or something. Like that's the first step in is to be in the building serving people coffee.
Yeah, getting in the door is step 1.
Yeah, that's the biggest, most difficult step. Like fuck me.
Like, hey, Karen, who gets the coffee? She's nice. She shows a lot of promise. She works really hard. Not saying it works 100% of the time, but people didn't get where they are from nowhere.
But how?
Do they think that nepotism's the only possible way to get a good job?
That's exactly it, isn't it? That's exactly it. That's the thing that they think. I mean, and then it makes you think, well, okay, how did she get her job? How did she end up producing this show? Really gets the noggin jogging.
Gonna take away Jaden Smith's fame and fortune?
Well, I suppose we have to. I mean, he's rather progressive, so nothing lost. But
we've gotta be consistent.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we don't, but fuck it.
So at least we've worked out who got to where they are through merit. Carry on, Francesca.
And to further divide the American people, the administration has introduced the so-called public charge.
Divide the American people from the Americans and the foreigners, like everyone else. That's what the division is here.
Why does she think that where everyone is currently is where they are, where they have aspired to be, and they have no future plans to go anywhere else?
Yeah, it's basically, you can't be trusted to run your own life, so she's going to plan it out for you, or at least pay someone.
You just wanted to be an extra in Braveheart for your whole life? No, they gave me a paycheck, and I got this cool sword, so I figured,
The loony part of the left spits on the graves and legacy of migrant rights pioneers, civil rights heroes like Cesar Chavez, who spoke against illegals. P.S. Trudeau came out as transracial in defense. But this
did he though?
No, but seriously, right? If you're a legal immigrant, what stake do you have in illegal immigrants? People who got.
Well, wasn't there that poll or something that found that most legal immigrants don't want illegal immigrants?
Yeah. That was
and you're like,
Washington Post,
duh.
I think it was. Where they expected ethnic solidarity with the Mexicans. The Mexicans were like, no, deport.
Yeah, I was like, no, those are those are Mexicans. I went through there. I'm American.
Yeah, but just
like,
think
what,
about it.
You think because we both speak Spanish, we're on the same team?
Yeah, that's literally it. But if you think about it like yourself, like if you spend all this money migrating to France or something, you get over there and there's some fucking English chav who snuck over and is just living there illegally. You'd be like, fuck you, I had to pay and go through all the procedure. You should do that too, motherfucker. Like,
do they not think that's just like white Americans never sue other white Americans or anything? Like they're not like what? Like, what you think every immigrant who got here on Ellis Island looked out their window and was thrilled to see another boat coming in. It's crazy.
Yeah. Right. How's the ARC thing going? Oh, badly. My base got destroyed. Millennials want culture from one arm's distance. They'll brag about the local tandoori shop. They know the staff by name, but the one black guy walks in the neighborhood and they're up in arms. Pewds withdrew his 50k donation to the ADL, looking for a new charity. We should get him to donate to We Build the Wall. Oh, that would be a brilliant fucking troll.
Yes. Oh boy.
That's a fucking genius idea, but there's no way he's going to do it.
YouTube. That'd get him unverified.
Oof, that would be magnificent trolling, but it's not going to happen. Anyone else hyped for the Area 51 raid tomorrow? Don't do anything stupid. Britain brought African slaves to the colonies. Well, yeah. So,
okay.
Yeah. The colonies were British at the time before the revolution. I guess I have to go tell Mike across the street that I hate him because he's brown. So do I burn all the photos of our families camping together? I guess you do. I mean, I'll ask Francesca. I'm sure the answer is going to be yes, though. Have I seen the new Alex Jones Doom video? My God, no! I need to see it. Why do people keep saying that to me? It must be fucking good. She obviously needs. I suppose it says dick. That's always been the problem. Honestly, I think what she needs is kids.
Don't stick your dick in crazy.
Yeah. Islam is right about women. Hashtag Islam is right about women has begun. Yeah, well, I mean, Islam's just protecting women from the male gaze, which you know is pretty prolific. You need to live stream with your camera on. You're very handsome, Carl. Ooh, those blue eyes. Wendy from Michigan. Oh, thanks, Wendy. But
thank you.
Yeah, it's just easier to do it not, to be honest, because oftentimes I'm just kind of staring at something and my face kind of sagging like I'm stoned or drunk or something, because I'm not thinking about how I look. The West paid for everything it's gotten in blood. It's not obligated to take anyone outside of it in, period. We paid with thousands of years of war. Correct. To be honest, that's not an untrue statement. I mean, everyone else has got the same story for their own countries, but that is true. It's just a universal. In Dankula's neck of the wood, Francis Nixon has lodged a petition in Scotland with Covenant's support to make false allegations against others a hate crime. Are you interested in looking into it? I don't really want more hate crimes, but I think false allegations should be punished as if the crime itself or something like that. It should be very harsh. So I'm going to miss the ancient recitations. Will you be uploading to it again? Honestly, I just don't have the time because it takes hours and hours and hours to record one of these things. Rags, can you please tell Mauler to tell my friend Carlos to stop sending me scat hentai? I've asked Mauler multiple times. He's repeatedly spurned me. I'm honestly hurt. I think that Samael527 is a pussy and should go on Dank's Discord server. Right, so let's carry on.
All right. Which denies green cards to people who have used social programs or might use them in the future, even though undocumented immigrants are already barred from receiving any public assistance. That's like adding another sign next to "you must be this tall to ride" that just says "you must be this short to watch your brother from the bench like a dweeb."
Sorry?
So she's saying that, well, obviously, whatever the law is for something it didn't apply to before.
But even more, like, I've brought this point up with people on the progressive side of things. They've been arguing in favor of illegal immigration. Like, well, how do they pay taxes? And they're like, oh, they steal social security numbers. So if they're stealing social security numbers, what's preventing them from claiming social security money using that number?
Yeah, it's like there was some reason for them to put in a new law into effect or to propose a new law that would, I guess, plug holes in old ones.
Without doubt.
Because that happens all the time, I imagine. You do a law and then you watch it play out in practice and you see how they get around it. And so you make a new law to address all of those things. This doesn't seem unusual to me at all.
It's not.
Also,
That's
what's
why.
the problem? If anything, it's just redundancy, which isn't harmful.
Yeah.
It's just like two laws against the same thing. It's like, okay. So now you double can't do it, I guess. And they shouldn't have been doing it in the first place.
Well, yeah.
But this isn't just about cruelty. Republicans are running a larger race-based political
Where's
play.
the cruelty at all?
And where's the race-based political play? This all seems to be based on procedure, right? Like these people have broken a law. They must be returned to their country of origin. That's what we do, or possibly prisoned. But like, you know, the very minimum is to return them to their country of origin because they're in the country illegally. What's wrong? You know,
they're not allowed to be here.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what country they've come from. There are countries outside of America that are white. Like, I don't know what the fucking problem is.
We know that by the year 2044, non-Hispanic white people will no longer be a majority. And
okay, why is this a good thing? Like, there's a super chat here, right? How is this border stuff not a form of ethnic and cultural erasure, right? That's the alt-right's point, right? But I bet that the person who sent that isn't a part of the alt-right. I bet the person who said that was just some, like, normal person who's just like, well, this seems to be what her plan is, and she seems to be fine with the idea that America becomes a majority non-white country, non-European country, by 2044. Like I can't imagine celebrating that in any other way. Like, if you go, you know, Brazil will be a non-Brazilian country by 2044. You'd be like, why? What the fuck's happening? Well, loads of people from, you know, I don't know, Africa or China or something are moving there. You know, before you know it, there are going to be like 14 million Argentinians and 35 million Chinese people in Argentina. You'd be like, that's a problem, isn't it? Is that not a problem?
Well, what is the allowable percentage of a native population that you can have until, like, in her mind, what's the how much are you allowed to have? Like, does it only apply to whites? I imagine it does. Yeah, because if you had a bunch of Americans going over to Mexico and just starting to live there or take dual citizenship, yeah, that'd be a problem. Taking all their jobs and everything.
I mean, the Mexicans don't let the Guatemalans stay in their country.
Well, what a bunch of racists. They must hate brown people.
I guess they must. It's colorism. They're slightly darker than the Mexicans, and therefore. But anyway, let's hear a listen to talk about the growing white minority demographic of the United States.
Now that Trump's in office, anti-immigrant zealots have been emboldened, and everyone from Fox News pundits to local politicians are saying the quiet part out loud.
Bitch,
how's Tucker racist?
She's been doing that the whole time. She's like, this is going to be great. This is, you know, America will be the majority brown. And then they're like, well, I guess we'll have to talk about the changing demographics of America. It's like, oh, God, you can't talk about that. It's like, well, you are. You're talking about it all the time.
In some parts of the country, it does seem like the America that we know and love doesn't exist anymore.
My suggestion, recommendation.
What an evil person.
Yeah, how dare she? Am I supposed to pass this country down to my children? I'm sure I was supposed to do that, but fuck it.
Someone from the outside should come in and just take their place.
Keep Marysville a white community as much as possible.
If we don't do something about immigration very, very soon, the demographics of our country will be irrevocably changed, and we will be a very different country. It will not be the country you were born into.
No nation, no society is ever.
But you would agree with that, Francesca? You would agree with that? That's a factual statement, yes.
Yeah. It's exactly what the New York Times article said. Like, this is what she believes.
Changed this much, this fast.
No nation? Okay, just for some context, Turkey has taken in over 3 million Syrian refugees, while the U.S. has taken in 18,000. Americans claim...
Yeah, it's too many.
But that's
how's really... Turkey? That's the place you want to be, right?
Does she know how the Syrian refugees live? Like, they aren't living in Turkish cities. They're living on camps on the border. And at the moment, the war is over, ISIS have been defeated, and they can go home.
Claiming we're number one at something we're clearly not is proof that we have
No,
not
it's like
changed
golf. The lower the score, the better.
at all. Okay, but if I'm picking up what they're laying down...
They're not that. Well, I mean, maybe there are like one or two, like the woman from wherever. In the
Yeah, the
green.
woman. I would need context for that, and I don't exactly trust Al Jazeera to give me
Yeah.
that. So the jury's going to be out on that one. But the top two and the guy in the bottom right, I mean,
Just factual statements
yeah, those are just statements that you would agree with.
that you have said in this video already. Just so you know.
Yep.
That
People
means
generally just don't want to watch their communities change. And it probably isn't because the community is browner. It's probably because of a lot of the cultural stuff that comes along with it if they come from outside places.
Yeah.
Be fewer alienated white men with access to assault weapons and more cumbia and biryani? That sounds amazing.
But the food!
Bitch, you are causing the fucking radicals with the guns. Like, what she is doing is causing shootings. It's part of it.
It's just like, oh, what's that? You're a white man? Well, just accept whatever happens to you and don't you dare complain.
How dare you want your community to look like the one you grew up in? That's racist. Like, I don't know what to say. You know? Like, and then telling them that they've got no option. That's why they go on shootings, bitch. Like, this is why they're doing it. Like, you can't... They think they're being erased, and you're like, oh, good, we get to have less of that and more of this. Brilliant. That's erasure. That's what that is. What the fuck is... What are they saying? What do they think they're saying? Fucking...
Now, the thing about Trump's anti-brown immigration policies is that they're not going to work. The Washington Post
They seem to.
Well, hang on. She's going to brag about the winning the race war.
estimated that even if Trump got his way on limiting brown immigrants, he'd only be pushing back the date at which white people become a minority by a maximum of 5 years. So why even attempt to alienate non-white immigrants if you've already lost a white
because
majority?
it's not about race?
It's that terrifying prospect of equality.
Equality?
She thinks this is going to bring equality.
Oh, okay. I mean, if literally everyone's an American citizen, okay, sure. I'm sure equality's whatever. Yeah.
Did bringing in millions of Hispanics into California make California more or less equal, Francesca? That's the question you need to ask yourself. The answer is it brought back the bubonic plague and leprosy, and that no, you now have a very elite class of which you are a part, getting your hotels cleaned and your coffee poured by little poor Mexican women. That is what been the case. Is the effective serfdom of Mexicans by people like you, Francesca. Like, I don't think what you're doing is moral, frankly. I think what you're doing is immoral. But anyway.
They're desperate to make this a race issue.
Well, for them it is. I think for them it is a race issue.
It can't be any other way.
And it's not about equality either. That's the thing. It's about their superiority over a plurality of different racial or ethnic identity groups.
Well, that's why the less whites, the better.
Exactly. They want whites to become one of those minorities as part of that plurality. That's what she wants.
Only two reasons. One, delaying demographic changes gives white nationalists a few more years to start their mythical
Yeah, the
race
13
war.
white nationalists that we have. Yeah, sure. I'm sure they'll be very upset.
Their mythical race war. Theirs. She's literally saying whites are going to become a minority in the United States, and it's their mythical race war. She's arguing against any attempt to reduce the amount of immigration and thereby reduce the number of, as she says, brown people coming into the country, and it's not a race war. As far as
how does she think that Mexicans would feel if white people poured into Mexico? You think they'd be up for that? You think they'd just be smiling and waving, and there wouldn't be any issues?
Maybe they would choose any other country. You know, millions of people from Africa. Are they in favor of that? Probably not. Millions of people from China. No. You know, it's like fucking mythical. She's literally saying she wants it.
It's not even like you're not even hiding it. Like, why do you think they think this way? It's because of this video. This video creates people like that.
Oh, fuck, man. Unbelievably so. Like, as far as I'm concerned, like, you know, you can see the picture of the Nazis and the picture of her, both basically the same. There's no difference. They're the same picture. You know, that fucking meme. They're the same fucking picture. People fighting the same fucking battle.
Of course, once there's a remake of Top Gun with only black lesbian pilots and Lizzo singing Take My Breath Away, which would definitely kick it off. Also, I'd watch the out of that.
No, you wouldn't.
No, you wouldn't. No one would.
No, you wouldn't.
Literally no one would watch that, and you know.
No one would watch that. Also, all of those women will be dead at 50 from heart attacks.
Yeah.
Before I go fight. But the real reason to sideline just enough brown immigrants has everything to do with how the GOP has hijacked the democratic process. Republicans don't have to kick out all undocumented immigrants or rescind green cards or take away visas.
But they should.
They should. Yeah, you should follow the law. You should follow the law, yeah.
There should be, ideally, 0 illegal immigrants in your country, Franny. For fuck's sake.
They just have to limit them enough and make sure that the rest are never part of the political process. Take the U.S. Census, which is coming up in 2020. The Trump administration is determined to add a citizenship question on the census.
Okay.
Okay.
Only criminals are bothered by this, Franny. Just so you know.
And was narrowly stopped by the Supreme Court in doing so. But they'll keep trying.
Good. There's, again, a great advert for fucking Trump. Carry on.
Newsbroke did a whole episode on the census, which you should watch after this. See, with the citizenship question, the government can scare brown communities across the country into not divulging their information.
What?
And thereby undercounting
they shouldn't be here, period. They shouldn't even be taking the census. They should not be in the country. That's the point. That's what this whole thing is about. They shouldn't be here because they're breaking the law. We have a process for coming here legally, and they've broken it.
But all brown communities are illegal immigrants as far as she's concerned. The brown communities are going to be scared of filling this out. It's like, but if you're a legal immigrant, you'll just proudly tick citizen.
No, the brown communities will be fine. Yeah. The illegal people in the brown communities, they should be afraid.
Yeah, they'll just go home, and that is okay, because that's what should happen. Fuck me.
One think tank estimated that between a citizenship question and new methods of census taking, the government could undercount as many as 4 million people. All this
that's a lot of people who shouldn't be here.
The census determines how much funding a state receives, and it can sway.
Oh, are we saying that California might lose a lot of funding if all the illegal immigrants are taken out of the actual citizen body?
Man.
Weird, that, isn't it?
We can't possibly. The idea of California getting less money. How far in debt are they? Let me actually Google that real quick. California debt. California debt. 370 billion in bills.
Ooh. Wow.
That's for one state, 370 billion in debt. That's quite a bit.
Can you compare it to Arkansas, which is yours, isn't it? That's your state.
Yeah, I'll take a look.
Yeah.
Let's see. Total debt owed. Arkansas state debt. Arkansas had a debt of. Oh my! 5 trillion.
What?
What?
Really? Jesus.
What?
Maybe you need foreign slaves too.
I need to take a look at that. That doesn't sound quite right because there's only like 3 million of us.
How did you get 5 billion?
Total state debt.
5 trillion. Sorry.
Capita.
All right, I'm going to go through the soup chats that have been piling up.
Or then again, we're 41st.
Thoughts on Milo Yiannopoulos being banned from a furry convention? I find it hilarious. I actually think it's kind of bad precedent. Milo hasn't done anything wrong to the furry convention. They're just banning him because of his public reputation.
Because of the whiny people who run those groups.
Exactly, but that's literally just like in relative respect to a bunch of people on Twitter. I mean, he hasn't been convicted of a crime or something. So taking punitive action against individuals is probably not what you want public things to do, because the whole point, the reason capitalism works is because it's anonymous. You can just go somewhere and buy something and sell something, and this is part of the sort of same principle. That okay, I mean there are going to be paedophiles at this furry convention, like they're not banned. There are going to be paedophiles there. But Milo, a victim of paedophiles, can't go. Like it's interesting, isn't it?
I had a dirt moment. It's 5 billion, not 5 trillion.
Right.
Because they listed it all out with the numbers and everything instead of just saying it. So
right.
I counted the wrong amount of zeros. So it is, it is 5 billion, which means that state debt per capita, it's actually fairly low for us. Like we have a state debt rank. This is weird. We have a state debt ranking of 41 out of 50, but Louisiana has 17.5 billion in debt, and they're 18th, but their state debt per capita is over double ours. So it's strange.
Well, let me carry on with this. How do we convince lawmakers to target employers that hire illegal immigrants? Demand it, I guess.
Yeah, when you make a law.
Yeah, demand that they make a fucking law penalizing employers who hire illegal immigrants. And the thing is, this is what a labor movement should be for. Like the Labour Party in my country, the Democrats in your country, like that's what they're for. That's the purpose of them, is to make sure that like the regular working stiff has a crack against the giant fucking power, the big power at the top. That's exactly the kind of thing that a labour movement should be demanding. Like employers should be penalised for hiring illegal immigrants. See the Troy Total War trailer, Hector Debate Me? No, I haven't seen it actually. I'm dubious, but I'll go take a look at it after the stream. Is it just me, or do they seem to count the Latin people in with people of colour? Well, yes. Bolsonaro, welcome to the privilege of having, of being oppressed, sorry. So, maybe we should tell them about the Spanish Empire and the slave trade. Or maybe we could point out that Rome spoke Latin. I don't think they care. I think what it is, when they say white, what they mean is Anglo. They're talking about sort of like the very tip of Northern Europe and that sort of government structure. And the language, the culture that came from that. That's what they're talking about. They're not talking about Spain or Italy or Greece,
Or Russia.
Yeah, or Russia especially.
Cheeky breaky.
Hello, Rags. I didn't know you hung out
Hello.
with this old husk. Glad to catch another stream of Sargon, but love you guys seeing together my fanfic come true. Oh, thank you.
Yay.
The left, white replacement is a conspiracy. Also the left, white people are going to be a minority. Isn't it great? Yeah, I can't believe she's got the gall to say that this is a conspiracy theory when she's fucking promoting it.
She's like, haha, there's going to be less of you, and you wonder why that would make people upset.
Yeah, and it's not a conspiracy theory to make there less of you, even though I'm literally going to advocate for all of the things that would do that. Thank you, Evelyn. I can't believe Angry Joe would do something like this. Lots of angry emoticons. Well, I say deport. The big problem is that they keep conflating legal and illegal immigrants. The main ones that we're worried about are illegal immigrants. Absolutely. That's exactly the problem. And that's why she said brown communities wouldn't fill out the census. The legal ones will, and they'll go, yes, citizen.
The legal ones will, yeah, sure.
Deport the illegal ones, please. That's what I'm paying my taxes for you to do. Like, I bet Mexicans are the biggest supporters of ICE in the world. Like, legal Mexican immigrants.
Yeah. Get these people out of our neighborhoods.
The guy who sent the previous one about isn't this ethnic replacement? For the record, I'm not a member of the alt-right. I just care about my family history and traditions not being lost to time artificially. I agree with that. Right?
I got you, man.
I approve of the use of the term artificially as well, because that's what this is. This is not a natural phenomenon. This is not normal.
It's not like naturally, as people mix, we get slowly but surely, gradually more mixed. It's not it's not a natural thing at all.
Well, it's not just that. It's not natural for a state to just open its borders and say anyone can come in and we won't prevent you and we'll even pay for you to have healthcare and education and things like that. That's not normal, Like, no one else does this. Because obviously their states would collapse. Hey from Czechia,
it's not
thank you.
Pragmatic. You can't support that.
Exactly. but she thinks that you can. It's like, well, that's fucking dumb.
Why do you just print money?
Well, yeah. Why do these people keep confusing race and culture? I think it's because they fundamentally are ethno-nationalists. I think that the progressive left are just negative ethno-nationalists, and the positive one would be the alt-right. And this comes from George Orwell's definitions from Notes on Nationalism about it's about this supremacy. It's about power. It's not really about the group itself. Or what he would describe as patriotism is a love of the group. But nationalism he defined as the politicization of the group. So you're seeking power with it. For her, it's seeking power for other groups against her own, rather than thing. That's how Orwell described it anyway. Thanks, FX Scalper. Charles Manson would be proud of Francesca. Yes, probably. The only way these people are stopped is physically. Unfortunately, that gives them exactly what they want. So what do we do? We win politically by just voting in people who are going to do everything that she's complaining about Donald Trump doing. The fact that she's made this video at least shows that Trump is doing what he's supposed to be fucking doing.
I mean, how do you think you got President Donald Trump in the first place?
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, he's actually deported fewer people than Obama. That's the thing. Like, per year.
Racist.
I know, what a fucking racist. Sargon, if you say an empire is one ethnic group dominating another, I'm going to die. Why? That's correct. And if you don't think so, where's your argument? I'm of Norman descent and in character with my ancestral ethnicity. I don't really care about ethnic percentages as long as I've got mine. Yeah, that's fucking Norman. My 3-year-old daughter knows 3 YouTubers. Ryan's Toy Reviews, Blippy, and Sargon of Akkad, which she pronounces Sego Bapad. Loving the Epstein series, thanks very much. Keep up the good work. Yeah, Ryan's Toy Reviews is just generally crappy, but Blippy's a fucking boss, man. My kid loves watching all that.
That Sego Bapad guy, I don't know.
Man, I tell you what, you've got to see the fucking viewing figures on these videos as well, right? There is like
on these what?
On these kiddie views, on the kiddie videos.
Oh yeah, they're insane,
staggering. Like, I have chosen the wrong fucking career.
Like billions, with a B, billions.
I tell you what, Blippy must be driving from each mansion in a fucking Ferrari that's full of women who are just models. He must be.
Yeah, he's living that Bernie Sanders life.
Connect illegal immigrants to slavery. It'll drive them crazy, and basically as true as the illegals are basically slave wages enemy. Well, I agree. I mean, I really think that's the case. But anyway, let's right. I've got to the end of the list, I think.
Well, they want slavery just through a different means. They just want a different kind of slavery is what they want.
Well, I was thinking about this. I think it's not slavery per se. I think what it is the sort of imperial, sort of colonial spirit that's being replayed here, because they still think that they can essentially be at the top and manage the different subgroups. Excuse me. Like administratively, you know? So you know, they can say the blacks are doing this or the whites are doing that, the Mexicans, Hispanics, blah blah. They love planning the world this way, and that's the same sort of colonial mindset that you have to have. And I don't think I think it's just the re-emergence of that desire to fix the world for the brown people. It's essentially the white man's burden being carried on, which, I mean, the very premise of her video is predicated: if we don't let them in, they don't have democracy. It's like, okay, why do I care if they don't have democracy? Like, do they care? Are they agitating? Maybe, depends where you're coming from. But why is it my business? Like, why is that something I have to care about? I mean, I could, why? No one explains to me why I have a claim to their fucking lives, but she does.
Since the census determines how many lawmakers each state has, and therefore how many electors in the Electoral College it has. Oh yeah, we still haven't wheeled that pile of garbage out to the curb.
Oh my...
Yeah. I just want 10 cities to control the election.
It's just the tyranny of the majority, Rags. What are you complaining about?
Like, look at all those red states. Fuck them.
Yeah, fuck those states. Have you not seen how many people are in California? Fuck you.
Yeah.
Although it is the only thing keeping Ohio relevant, since Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Well, how do you think the Ohioans feel about that?
There we go. She got it. She fucking got it. That's exactly what it's for.
Also, her best joke, not a good one, but her best joke so far However, it's just, how do you think the people in Ohio feel? Like I'm in Arkansas. We get 6 electoral college votes. If we didn't have it, like, we'd be nothing. We would just be completely at the whim of everyone else. We wouldn't have a chance to, like, all the people in this state would just be screwed.
They voted to make you just a medieval serf colony. You'd have no choice.
I mean, if we were,
And all that's
but it's
funny
because we're red. It's because we're red, and we're not even like red. We're just like, we're a little red. We used to be blue. Now we're red.
You're red enough. That's what
red
it
enough.
is. Yeah, but that's the thing. Used to be blue because you used to need a sort of class interest group. That's what you used to need. And now you need an American interest group, which is why you're voting Republican.
Alabama is poised to actually lose representatives after 2020 because their population is dwindling. And that's ironic because Alabama is also leading the nationwide charge to exclude undocumented immigrants in the census, even though counting them would help them keep political control.
Oh my gosh, not everything is about power. I mean, do you think that Alabama's like, oh no, we're going to lose let me see, Alabama electoral votes. Alabama gets 9. Oh, I got more than us. So if they lose 1 or 2, but their state does better because of it, what's more important?
The GDP or electoral college votes in this case.
As these people don't understand that not everything can be seen from the framework of power. But that's how they view the world. Everything is power. It's all oppressed and oppressor.
She is fighting a race war. I mean, that's true.
You're like, all those red states, who's got all the guns, right, in this upcoming race war? I'm just saying, mate.
It's going to be pretty woke.
Because no one said racism was smart. Yet while the citizenship question was struck down by
it's not racism,
gerrymandering along racial and political lines was just upheld.
Good job, Brett and Neil. Here are your milk biscuits. Brett, that's Neil's. No, Brett. Shh.
For a refresher, gerrymandering
What?
works like this.
Let's say you got a city, it's 60% black and it's 40% white, okay?
This idiot.
Here's how you ensure white people stay in charge.
This is the loser who was like, oh yeah, electoral college is terrible.
But you put the entire black population in one district, 60% of the people.
How do you put them all there?
And then each district elects one city council member. And voila.
Racist.
That is actually legitimately a thing and can be legitimately.
Yeah, I've heard it. I've heard it is.
Yeah. I mean, it often is cynical as fuck. But I'm not pro gerrymandering. I'm pro deporting illegal immigrants.
Yeah.
A ratatouille. Mwah. The census data will most certainly continue to be used by GOP lawmakers to manipulate the electorate in favor of Republicans.
It's not manipulating the electorate. We don't want illegal immigrants to be counted as part of the population of citizens. Like, is that an insane thing to say?
Yes, from the perspective that we should be giving illegal immigrants free healthcare and aborting babies up to the point of birth and becoming communists. I suppose from that perspective, what you're saying is insane.
White people. So this anti-immigrant crusade is not Stephen Miller's long con to winning San Diego's annual guacamole competition, the Guac Bowl, though he's not ruling it out. This is about making sure America is ruled by a white minority. It's the same thing that motivates voter suppression in black communities and preventing the formerly
That is a fucking allegation and a half.
That is interesting.
Especially considering that the result of her fucking activism will be a white minority or European minority. She looks a bit fucking off colour, so I'm not going to assume she's just white. But it'll be a European minority ruling over the oppressed majority of brown people who are let in with no fucking responsible forethought. She's already said that the conditions for illegal immigrants are terrible. She lets in millions of them. We've already established that there is a downward pressure. She wants them to live in this problem.
Because they can be politically expedient from that position.
But no, because they'll do, and there's not just that, but they are. They'll do the jobs that Americans don't want to do, which means they'll do the jobs that I don't want to do, which means I'll get my coffee served by some foreigner as I go off to my fucking 30 or 40 grand a year paying job at AJ Plus.
From voting. The goal is to insulate American democracy, no matter how brown the country gets, and protect it from actual democracy.
Amazing.
I was like, what? You wonder what planet they're from. What aliens have crash landed here, trying to imitate insane. It's some bizarro world portal has opened up and they've seeped into our reality.
They literally think they own the fucking immigrants. Like the Mexican immigrants, the legals aren't going to get vote to deport the illegals. Imagine if there was a legal Hispanic voting bloc that was similar size of the white Anglo sort of European voting bloc, right? Both of those voting blocs are going to vote for deporting the illegals. Like that's what they'll do. So she'll be sat there going, "My God, the Mexicans have finally become white people." Right, I'm gonna we'll finish the video because I'm like, let's fuck all off now.
So yes, our immigration policy is cruel and inhumane, but there is a point, and that means that in addition to real immigration...
She should see what Hungary's fucking immigration system's like.
Yeah, a little perspective might color your opinion on that.
But barbed wire and people with AKs, you know?
Reform, we have to hold tight to our democracy like a baguette.
No, our electoral college, our republic.
So chunky.
She's literally, this is a video about fucking race war, and she puts in shit like this. I just can't get over it. Like the cat thing. It's like, you are, but our democracy involves fewer white people. That's literally the fucking opinion of the ANC and the EFF from South Africa, and they are racial communists. And she's presenting essentially the same ideas with a fat cat and a baguette. It's fucked up, man. It's weird and fucked up.
Well, they don't think that... I guess they think that... I don't know, like, they're just lizard people wearing human skins. They don't understand how humans work. It's just...
I agree.
The tone here is all over the place. Yeah. The tone here is all over the place. You're not getting your points across. You're not convincing anybody new. And there's nothing in this video that would be like, here is why. Here's an actual reason why.
Yeah, this is why it's good to do what I'm suggesting. Like, where's the positive? But right, I'll go through the super chats and then we'll finish. Once I figure out what I'm actually pressing. No, not that one. That one. Right, okay. It's like 2 o'clock now, so.
Oh, yeah, well.
Honestly, America is doomed to follow the path of Rome. The natives continue their depravity and the Catholics take over in a few generations. Please get it over with. It hurts watching this unfold. Yeah, I imagine republics become the victims of their own success. There's probably no getting around it, to be fair. The wall could have been such a good civic project, like roadways, ferries, blah. Well, yeah, this is the thing. Like, the democratic opposition to the wall is pure globalism. There is nothing racist about a wall. There's nothing wrong morally with a wall at all, unless you don't think that America should exist, and then it becomes problematic. And it's like, well, there we go. Fuck you then. If Cali's illegals are shown as non-citizens in the census, it is estimated that California would lose 3/5 of congressional seats. Well, good. They probably need to. Hey, Sargon, you should talk to Louis about the Supreme Court case Plyler versus Doe, where illegals sued to allow their kids to attend public school. Fucking hell. What? How? Why didn't they get instantly deported on being discovered to be illegals? Illinois' state debt is $270 billion. Help. Man, you're on your own. The Watchmen and Dune would be good movies, books to look at after Demolition Man next. Judge Dredd as well. Yeah, I should probably do Dune, to be fair. Hey Rags, lust you much? Don't Walk Productions. Next time you rip one of these apart, invite me. Okay, man. I've got a burner Twitter account that I'll tweet you at, and you know. You can...
is that Walk Don't Run or Run Don't Walk?
Don't Walk Run Productions. Yeah, I really like his stuff.
Yeah, I watch some of his stuff. It's really good.
I really like his AOC videos. They're always good. We won an NBA title not long ago. Take that, Bizoch. Europe was a shithole during the time of the plague. True. The SNP votes come from targeting students, and the old are disillusioned with voting. SNP are also lowering the voting age to 16 just before Indie Ref. Well, they're going to need to, because they're making the rest of the country think, maybe we won't. Take a drink every time a Democrat cries racist? I can't. I don't want liver failure. I noticed this woman continues to go into hyperbolic, sarcastic by acting European. Can we say European globalists? Yeah, pretty much. She's probably not European in flesh, but she's in spirit. Honestly, she looks like she is. She looks like an Italian to me. The only thing that this abomination of a video has achieved is piss me off and radicalize me further to the hard right. Yeah, I know, right? It's really fucking annoying. Like, I'm not like hard right or anything like that. I'm the product of immigration myself. Like, I'm not in favor of like, you know, Nazism. But this is not fucking helping from her. Like, a video basically declaring the race war is being fought by Trump because he's anti-immigration is not helpful at all. Just so you know, Francesca. Inhumane, if only she could have seen Wallachia when Vlad the Impaler was in charge. That was inhumane. Yes, it was. It's a white people thing. When white people kill white people. It's white on white violence, Francesca. Actually, no. It's white on Turkish violence, so probably racial. When will the Demolition Man video be ready? Man, I've just finished the fucking second Epstein one. It'll be a little while. It'll probably be, a couple of weeks. The Demolition Man one shouldn't take that long, though. The Epstein one took a long time because there's a lot to read. Appreciate your response to this video. Hi, Rags. Thank you.
Hello.
As a civic nationalist, I believe in strong borders to keep people safe, steady population control that provides more jobs, less homelessness, less crime. Too high population kills society. Completely agree. That's obviously true. But right, thank you very much for joining us, everyone. I hope you enjoyed us talking about progressive race warriors and questioning why these fucking things exist. But thank you very much, Rags, for joining me, and I'll leave a link in the description to his channel. You should check out Rags' videos; they're very good. I'll speak to you later.
I put one out today.
Oh, did you? I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, put one out today on both channels. It was in YouTube limbo for like 2 weeks. And now it's finally got cleared, so it's up. So there you go.
Excellent. Right. And when I figure out how exactly I can end the stream, I will end the stream. Where did the fucking... There it is.
Where did it go?
Wait, that's not it either.
Just stream forever.
I'm going to stream forever until I close the...
Go to the
oh, no, wait, no.
7 365 stream.
Right.